Ancient magic is never something to be taken lightly. Usually the magic used could be considered helpful, some might even say broken. However, 5,000 years ago, yes, I watched and prefer the dub, a spell was cast in ancient Egypt to protect the people by summoning monsters fueled by 7 items. The ring, the rod, key, the scale, the necklace, the eye, and the puzzle. However, the magic would go out of control, requiring the newly crowned Pharaoh to lock the magic away along with his own soul. That Pharaoh, through time, would go nameless. Until some instructor of Duel Academy name-dropped him and the whole thing about the nameless Pharaoh was ruined! Anyway, this Pharaoh would eventually re-emerge through his descendant, along with his friend through a card. We shouldn't know his name yet, but what we do know is he was once known as Yugioh. Roll credits! It took 7 episodes, but we're finally going back to teach you how to Dark Magician, the main archetype of the nameless Pharaoh bound to Yugi. Being the archetype of the golden boy of the entire series, Dark Magician was made to be adaptable to many different situations and focus more on exploiting the opponent's weaknesses rather than go straight for the kill while using the Pharaoh's childhood friend, Mahad the Dark Magician. He is just a normal monster, but he's essential for all of Dark Magician's plays because Dark Magician's early support was only for him. They didn't become an archetype until the Eye of Timaeus was released and let Dark Magician Girl go uncensored for once. Speaking of, Dark Magician Girl is also a good option for Dark Magician decks, as usually the Dark Magician cards work on summoning the two, as they can put aside their sibling bickering in the deck and actually fight when needs to be fought. With the Eye of Timaeus, they can both be turned from their usual versions into the Dragon Knights or Amulet Dragon if you're feeling like flexing on Blue Eyes by giving Dark Magician a stronger pet than Blue Eyes. Mahad does come with his own circle, letting you look into the future and either make the future happen that instant, adding a Dark Magician card, or setting up your cards for when the Heart of the Cards kicks in because the symbol of friendship is too expensive to include as a Destiny draw. I'll admit, it's a really good reference, but being a good reference doesn't mean it's very good. Despite all of this power, the Pharaoh decided it needed more after some guy in the past pulled out 3 Blue Eyes Ultimates and 2 Meteor Black Dragons on him when he remembered a little too much. So rather than get some ancient therapy, he insists on an extra power boost, which happened after a little incident where Mahad got sealed in a brick. From this sealing, it made Eternal Soul to protect all Mahads he summons for fear they will be kicked in the shins by Tearlaments who are pushing the timer to its limit. And as an added bonus, if Mahad does get kicked in the shins, Eternal Soul can fix him up or even give him a shit ton of knives or the anime power to blast back row. Maya also helps in the form of Magician's Salvation, letting her come out to play when Dark Magician is summoned, and as an added bonus, being nice to her brother by setting Eternal Soul. And because of their bond between teacher and student, she can jump into the action whenever she wants as long as Dark Magician is on the field, and set up for her cool move when Dark Magician doesn't want a Dark Magic attack the back row for the millionth time. Despite the Destiny draw of Dark Magic Circle not being very great, Dark Magician did get another option in the form of Soul Servant, letting you stack your deck and even drawing when you have at least one Dark Magician that is either very dead or a Dark Magician very alive. With Soul Servant, you can also bring out the ultimate ace of the Pharaoh seen in Dark Side of Dimensions, Palladium Oracle Mahad, the original version of him after he threw the ring into a pit and neatly doubles his attack points when he fights anything that smells of edge. And if he ends up getting bonked for looking at the other magician girls he trains, he can circle back into the Dark Magician. Dark Magicians also get help in the form of the Illusion Magicians, which are the ace of Mahad before he got his ass beat by a snake guy. The Illusion Magicians usually aren't that great, but the best two are Apprentice Illusion Magician, which is a free Dark Magician and an honest if you attack with a spellcaster, and building the overlay network into Ebon Illusion Magician to summon more Dark Magicians, and when said Dark Magicians attack, it can banish a card your opponent controls so Mirror Force won't be an issue. It wasn't a threat anyway with Eternal Soul, but now it's even less of an issue. But now I can hear you asking.
That's great and all, but how do we search any of the spells?
Oh shit, you actually asked. Well, I'd say find Dark Magician's Rod, as it lets you add any spell you want that mentions Dark Magician, so you can have any of them you want. Mix that with an Illusion of Chaos and you'll be able to search any card you need if you need it, and with Illusion of Chaos you have fuel to bring out a new fusion in the form of Master of Chaos to summon a light or dark monster from your grave, and if you immediately tribute it, gain a nuke Mirror J could only dream of being able to pull off. To pull off fusions you have two options: bring out Timaeus, the Giga Chat of Dragons, or the United Dragon, or use Secrets of Dark Magic to fuse Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl along with any other monster. This could also be used to ritual summon, but Illusion of Chaos already knows its place as a searcher. If you don't have many options to start with, never fear, because if you have Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl and any other spellcaster, you can make the Dark Magicians, or what I call Mahad and Maya after having a night on the marketplace, because they become so dripped out that they let you draw when your opponent tries to drip themselves out. It also lets you set and activate that drawn card during that turn if you draw a quick play spell or a trap. Assuming you're crazy enough to let them get destroyed, never fear, because they fight so much about it in the graveyard that they re-manifest themselves back into reality. Usually they don't need it since they focus on non-attacking removal, but if attacking is the only option, Dark Magician has decent power boosts. Dark Magic Twin Burst forces Maya to give Mahad her power in exchange for not being the one to buy McDonald's, as well as Piercing the Darkness, which lets you draw and summon of a Dark Magician, and if he or any of his counterparts are attacked, that counterpart gains the attack, giving you a guaranteed 2500 damage on your opponent. To be able to get out Dark Magician easily, there is the trap Magician's Navigation for a surprise duo of Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl, but there is also the easy option of Magician's Souls, the ghosts of the two, and they let you send a Dark Magician or Magician Girl from your deck to the graveyard to summon a Dark Magician or Magician Girl from your grave. There's also the option to mill one of them and summon the souls themselves, but all they do is ditch two spells or traps and lets you Pot of Greed, so not too helpful. As personal preference, I have the staples of Ash and Max C in there too, as well as a Raigeki and Harpy's Feather Duster for when I want a Labyrinth player to cope and seethe, with Big Eye, Galaxy Tomahawk, and Diablos the Mind Hacker as rank 7 options, with a Dark Charmer and Celine to go into Access Code. But if you go into Access Code in the duel, it has no more meaning because you won with no skill. That, if I remember correctly, is how to Dark Magician. Master Duel replays will probably be slowing down a lot with tier limit being everywhere and Cash Dealer eventually coming, so that's nice. But I hope you can take the Pharaoh's power and make him proud. And thank you for
200
subscribers. I did not expect to get that high by making how-tos. So, very much thank you.
You're going to the Shadow Realm.